And I don't believe that. I think some people are gay and some people are straight and some people are bi. And that's just the way it is. And the way I consider it, it's not just who you're attracted to sexually, it's about who you fall in love with. If you are, you can be attracted, I think, physically attracted to someone of the opposite sex and still be gay, but not be interested in having a relationship with them or not be able to fall in love with a woman. You can be attracted to someone of the same sex. I'm confusing myself now. My point is this, is that you can be attracted to people who are not part of your primary identity in terms of your sexuality, your sexual orientation, but still not fall in love with them. And that's the difference between being gay, bi, or gay, bi, or straight. If you're straight, you fall in love with people who are the opposite sex and you're attracted to them sexually. If you're gay, you're sexually attracted to people of the same sex and you can fall in love with them, and that's primarily who you fall in love with. If you're bi, you both fall in love and attracted to both sexes. And I find it to be a completely valid way of being. What's wrong with it? People act like bisexual people are just so greedy and just so wrong and just, oh my God, can't they make up their mind? It just blows my mind. I can't figure out what they want, and I can't date them because they're gonna, always want my boyfriend or my girl or my friends or whatever. I don't know who they're going after, and it makes me nervous. Really, that's your fault and your issue, or my issue if it were me. I wouldn't want to date a bisexual person either for that reason, because I'm too insecure to have to compete with both men and women. Fuck that. So yeah, I mean, that's why I wouldn't want to date a bisexual. But it doesn't mean they can't be. It doesn't mean that they can't be. What's the word? Monogamous. I think that they can be monogamous. It's not about them. It's about me or the person who has an issue with them being bi because they like both sexes. So I think it's a perfectly valid way of being. I think it's perfectly fine. And I think people who are bi exist just as much as anybody else. And so they're part of our GLBTQIA community. And I think that we should respect them and respect their life, their way of life, just like we ask for everyone else to respect ours. So one more thing before I talk about the car thing is Madonna's Hacker. If you remember listening to my show, Madonna's new album, Rebel Heart, was leaked, the entire thing. And they finally figured out who it was, and they arrested them in Israel today or yesterday. And apparently the guy hacked into her computer, her actual computer, and that's how we got all of these final cuts of the songs, because she had them on her computer. And so she said she's going to be more secure in the future, but she's thankful for everyone's support, and that she felt really, what did she say? She didn't say raped this time, but she said she felt like she was really, God, I can't think today. My brain's not working. Said she felt really betrayed or whatever, by the fact that someone had gotten into her computer and done that. But anyone can do that to anybody. So, she's not immune, but that's a good thing. They arrested him. And so that won't be happening anymore. And the last thing is, if you remember listening to my show a few days ago or last week, I had a car accident a week ago Thursday. And this guy hit me. He was in a U-Haul. Anyway, their insurance finally agreed to pay for it since they were at fault. And so they set me up with a rental car this week. And on Monday, I picked it up and put my car in the shop for its repair. And I'll get back next week, probably Tuesday. Anyway, so they gave me a Hyundai Sonata, a brand new one, like it only has 1,000 miles on it, for my rental car, which, is fine. I didn't expect a BMW like I have because, no one leases BMWs for a car repair thing, and it just doesn't happen. But anyway, my point is that I am such a fucking snob. I'm like about cars. And I don't care what someone else drives. Like if someone else drives a jalopy, I'm happy to ride around with it in them. I'm happy to, it doesn't bother me. I don't judge someone else based on what they drive. I really don't. It's just my own thing. Like I don't want to drive a Hyundai because it doesn't represent who I am as a person. So it's like, with clothes that I wear, the jewelry I wear, the house I'm trying to fucking finish finally someday soon, hopefully, the remodeling of it, the way I wear my hair, the way the kind of socks I wear even. I mean, I'm very much somebody who's into expressing myself and who I am through fashion and through design and those kinds of things. And so whenever I go anywhere and do anything, I want to be distinctive and I want things to be representative of myself. And so today I had to drive that Hyundai, which is not a bad looking car. I mean, it's okay. It's just still a Hyundai though, to my client's house to go over there for my meeting today, I mentioned earlier. And I mean, I don't know if they even saw it, but I mean, it doesn't matter. But my point is like, I just felt so embarrassed because I was driving a Hyundai because I'm not a Hyundai, you know, some people are Hyundais and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with a Hyundai. Usually a Hyundai driver is someone who has kids and, you know, is on a somewhat of a budget and wants a reliable car. I assume it's reliable. I don't know if it's reliable or not. But it wants a car that's not going to cost too much money because they spend their money on their kids' college funds, or they spend their money on vacations or whatever. They don't want to spend a lot of money on a car, and that's perfectly valid and fine. But there's some people who are Hyundai, some people are Fords. Like my husband's a Ford. He's an American, all-American kind of country guy. He likes Mustangs. He's like a Mustang, like a 66 Mustang. That's who he is. That's, if he had a car, that would be who he is. Okay. And, he loves them, and that makes sense for his personality. My mom, she's more like, she drives a VW, Passat. So I guess that's what she is. She likes her car, you know, that's who she is. So she's somewhat practical, but she wants a nice looking car, German, whatever, great, reliable. That's her. I'm trying to think of some other examples of cars. What is it? Like, so then there's like a Lamborghini, okay, and a Porsche. I'm not a Porsche really, or a Lamborghini, although I like Porsches. I'm not really a Porsche guy or a Lamborghini. Lamborghini is like some guy who's like, you know, dripping with jewelry and he wears too much cologne and it has this tiny penis probably and is trying to prove something. You know what I mean? So you see my point. My point is everyone is, if you think about people in terms of cars, everyone is a car in some way, whether they realize it or not. And some people are like Yugos or whatever. I don't know. So some people just don't give a fuck about that kind of stuff. So I'm a BMW. I'm always been a BMW kind of guy. Ever since I was a kid, I've loved them because they're incredible cars and they have great power and they're fun to drive. Unlike your Mercedes, which is like a car to ride in. It's not really a car to drive that much. BMW is a car to drive. That's why it's called the ultimate driving machine. And it represents me because I'm liberal and I'm classic and sophisticated. And so I've been told many times, and I'm very high end about things. I like nice things. And, you know, it represents who I am. The brand itself does. And so that's why. So my point is that I'm not a Hyundai, but I'm having to drive one for a week and I'll be fine. I'm not going to like kill myself over it. It's just weird to me. And I bet no one else or very few other people are like me about this or this ridiculous about what kind of car they're driving. But I just, everything I do, I like it to represent who I am. That's why I like right now, my house being in such disarray on the outside, because I'm re-bricking the whole thing and I'm waiting for windows to come in this next month, and then the rest of the brick, another brick order I had to order, which is going to take another month before I can finish re-bricking the front of the house, and then I'm doing another addition the other side. My point is, it's like half done right now, and so it drives me nuts having my house half done because it represents me. So somebody sees my house and like thinking, you know, wow, that's like Frankenhouse, you know, because it's half one brick color and half another right now. And that's why. But I'm, you know, so those kind of things bother me. And I think it's also one reason why I'm a designer and architect and the things I do, because I was like that as a child too. When I was real little, I was very much like that about my room. Everything had to be a certain way. And I couldn't concentrate or be relaxed if my environment was not a reflection of who I was. You know, like, if I had to like have a room that was like bright pink or something, that would bother me, because not because it's a girly color, just because it's just, I'm not a pink person. I wanted something that was sophisticated. Like at the time it was green, hunter green in those days. It was in the late 80s, you know? And, so that's what I painted my room. And then later on I painted it a teal color, and that was in the 90s. And then later on I painted it, you know, like a beige color. So it just depended on what the fashions were. So that's why I am the way I am. And I don't apologize for it. I shouldn't apologize for it, because there's nothing wrong with it. I don't expect other people to do that. I just think that for me, it's very difficult to be in a car that doesn't reflect my personality. That's all I'm saying. All right, so that's the show for tonight. I'm going to go. I'll be back tomorrow for show number 21 of the year. And I appreciate you listening. And if you have any questions, remember you can, or comments on the show, you can go to Twitter, you can go to Facebook, you can email me at info@offlimitshow.com, or you can go to the website and do it there, also on Facebook. So feel free to check me out. And you can always comment if you listen on Spreaker beneath the show on the show page. And if you have comments, I'll read those as well. Thanks for listening. Have a good night.